Thank you for coming back to the Final Days channel. Today is July 5th, 2020. The videos currently playing are all from yesterday's footage taken from the FAA weather cameras in Alaska. I want to apologize for such a long delay since my last video, but my boss, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, has not been prompting me to make as many videos anymore. He says that his warnings will soon stop because those who will listen have heeded, and the mockers and scoffers, those who won't listen, have made their choices. The mid-May cosmic event has come and gone, leaving some countries around the world with devastation, but others not as bad. Most of the devastation goes unmentioned by mainstream media. People around the world are still reporting an increase in the number of meteorite sightings, which, according to Israeli News Live and Mike from Around the World, will continue to rise. The reason for this video today is to describe to you a vision that God gave me a few days ago while I was having communion with Him, which I often do in the mornings. During this particular communion, He showed me the very beginning of my soul. I watched as He spoke my soul into existence. As He formed my soul, He placed into me a small amount of His own soul and life essence, and He breathed life into my soul, which would live for eternity and never die. And then I saw Him hold me, just as any parent holds their child, and He breathed into me love, the ability for emotions, and other gifts. I don't recall ever feeling so loved. The vision ended there. He has done this same thing with all of us. I don't know how long I was in heaven before being sent into this world, into my mother's womb. He's done this with all of us. Our memories of our real home in heaven have been blocked from our earthly brains because we were sent here to apply our own free will to eventually choose to love the Father who created us and to live our lives according to that love. He sent us here with His guidebook, the Holy Bible, for instructions on how we should live. The real you is an eternal soul and not that temporary body you see when you look in the mirror. He sent us here to develop our souls and to learn hard lessons that we couldn't learn in a perfect place like heaven. We are here to learn how to share and to learn how to give. We were sent here to learn how to love others and how to forgive. We are here to learn how to overcome a sinful nature and a sinful environment. We are here to learn how to overcome selfishness, grief, loss, sadness, loneliness, despair, anger. It is here that we learn to control ourselves in the face of adversity, disappointment, disgust, unfairness, rejection, and harshness. We must learn to develop compassion for others. It is paramount that we learn not to follow the crowd, but to follow our eternal Father and His written word. We must learn to listen for His voice and obey. We must learn how to live and walk in holiness. A link in the description box below discusses what holiness is and how to achieve it. Those of us who have chosen to love the Father who created us and to live according to that love will be allowed to return back to our home in heaven for eternity. Those who have not chosen the Father's love will spend eternity in hell and will never be permitted to return to their homes in heaven. This short, temporary life is where we choose our eternity. This is the only reason you are here in your temporary flesh body. The Father goes by several different names: Heavenly Father, Jesus, the Ancient of Days, Christ, Jehovah, Yahweh, Yeshua. Those are names for the same loving God. Many people believe that all good people automatically go to heaven. This is a lie from the demonic realm. Heaven is only available to those who have accepted Jesus into their hearts and lives. People often ask, why wouldn't a good person, go to heaven? Bill Weiss gives a great analogy of why being good doesn't get a person into heaven. Let's say you walk up to the door of the finest house in the country. You knock on the door. When the owner opens the door, you say, "I'm a good person. I'm moving in." The house owner says, "I don't know you. Go away." It's the same with heaven. You can't just live your whole life without loving and obeying Christ and His teachings, and then one day go knocking on heaven's door expecting to enter. Living for Christ is much more than holding an opinion that He is God and that He died on a cross. Even the demons believe that. You must make Him the center of your life. Information is at the end of this video instructing you on how to accept Jesus into your life so that you can be certain that your eternal soul will go to heaven when you leave your temporary body, or when Jesus comes to retrieve His faithful believers in the end of days, which could happen any day. Jesus is heartbroken about the overwhelming number of people who have rejected Him by their unbelief and their unholy lifestyles. Therefore, our world is under judgment. Several plagues have come and more will come, some far worse than anything we've ever seen. The approaching planetary system shown in these videos that you're watching will produce many devastating plagues. In the Bible, a plague is a judgment, a result of God's wrath against rebellious people. If a plague is man-made, it's still a plague, such as the current virus going around. God allows it as a judgment, even though it was man-made. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that a biblical plague cannot have a man-made origin. Thus, God will even use war or enemy attacks as judgments. Over and over throughout the Bible, God has spared His true, faithful believers from plagues, judgments, His wrath. One example is when He sent angels to get Lot out of Sodom and Gomorrah before it was completely destroyed because of the unholy lifestyles of its citizens. Another example is in the book of Exodus, when many plagues fell upon Egypt. However, these plagues never touched any of the Israelites. Please read Psalms 91 for reassurance on how God protects His true and faithful believers from judgments upon an evil population. Those walking in holiness have absolutely nothing to worry about, and these judgments will be arriving this year. The Father clearly states that if we stay close to Him, living in holiness, we will escape His wrath the plagues, the judgments. These next few screens will tell you how to accept Christ into your life. Simply pause the screens if you need more time to read the text.